Most beginners don't know this, but the fastest way to get strong in Call of Dragons are coming from 10 simple steps that every new player forget. Hey friends, welcome to this Call of Dragons beginner guide. Today I will show you the exact first day tips that help you grow faster, unlock more power and avoid the common mistake new players are making. Always keep your quarry active, no downtime. This is the first thing that I want to point out in this beginner guide. And what this exactly means is you're having couple buildings that are having some kind of production. By default, your mint, your foundry, your mana refinery is just going to non-stop working, but some of the buildings need manually to get triggered. What I mean by that is if you go in the College of Order or your research center, let's say it like this, where you do your researches, the moment one of the research finish, the new one is not starting because the game don't know which is the next research you want to do. So here always keep everything producing something. And I want to point out something more important, and this is getting the second query for your research center. What I mean by that, at level 8 you're going to be able to have a tuned research query permanently unlocked. Like this, you're going to do 2 researches in same time. From the military tech is going to come your warriors, from the economy is going to come your gathering speed, what you can gather because some of the mines have to be opened, your stamina recovery, research speed, building speed, all these things that is needed for your castle to grow faster. So always keep this building producing. The other thing is your training camps. Here in my case I can train Celestials, Ballista, Knights, Vestals and finally is infantry. By keeping those buildings non-stop producing, you're going to be able to have more troops so you can fill your legion, because you're going to see that you're going to level up your characters or your heroes. We're going to talk about the heroes also. You're going to level up your heroes, but the capacity of legion is going to expand, but you're not going to have troops to fill this capacity limit. That's why non-stop producing. You're not losing anything if you're non-stop doing some production in your castle. Extremely important if you want to fast grow. The next one is keep your building non-stop get level. What I mean by that is, you for 5k gems, if you remember back in the days was like this, but right now if you have a chance, get a second builder. With the second builder you're going to be able, like in the research case, you're going to be able to do 2 buildings in same time. Very important to continue and boosting your growth is to level up your buildings, training your troops and getting your researches. By knowing that you have to non-stop train, research or building, let's go over the most important buildings in your city. I'm going to start with the city hall. This is your main building. By this building you're controlling all the rest of the buildings. If you have your city hall level 2 or level 5 or level 10, the other buildings cannot exceed this level. So if you want all the buildings to get higher level, the first place you have to go is City Hall. I want to point something about the City Hall, and this is what it's actually giving. First thing first is right now on level 1 is going to give you legion capacity. It's going to give you additional capacity in form of percentage, how many legions you can have outside, and obviously it's going to also give you some power. On the level 1 it's like 500, but if we go further, it is going to be up to 25% additional capacity and 12.5k legion capacity, which is crucial for your legions. On top of that, with each level, on level 10, where is the town, you're going to get your city expanded. Now here is the thing, you're going to start with the small piece of wand, and when you hit the next level of the city hall, right now, guys, It's a city hall. When you go on the next level and you hit town, I mean village, first is village, the territory is going to expand. After this is town, again is going to expand. Citadel is going to expand again, and Metropolis is the final version of this city castle. So you're going to have everything at this point when you hit level, I think level 20. At level 21, you're going to hit the biggest expansion here. So you can make some decorations, getting wild with your decoration inside the castle. And to be fair, some players are getting wild with the decorations. For example, this guy here, it's like, I think this is a soccer field or something like this. It just so wild things you can do, but you're going to get this expansion at level 21. And in the process, obviously, when you level up your town hall, you're going to have ability to unlock different buildings that you can see. It can be military or economy buildings. And inside these buildings, especially for the economy, is your bazaar, goblin market, alliance center, your Augustone store, storehouse, and all these things that are not non-military. In the military, obviously, is going to be your scouts, your rally beacon, hospital, and the troops training camps. And I want to point out something about your city castle, and this is your main building, so try to upgrade it as fast as you can. Just because some of the buildings you're not going to need that much, but the rest you're going to need so much. Like for example, Alliance Center is giving you helps, which is translated in free speed ups. Every time you level up this building is going to give you some extra helps. Like right now at the final level is 30, so 30 people can actually help me in building, researching, and this is going to reduce the time. So it's basically free speed ups. This is just an example of one of the important buildings. Also, your College of Order is also needing the city hall to be higher level, so you'll be able to level up this building and open new researches, because the researches inside is also blocked from the level of the College of Order. On top of that, with each level of College of Order, you're also going to receive a research speed bonus that can go up to 25%, and this is a decent percentage, very nice percentage. So your main building should non-stop be leveling up. And first thing to prioritize when you decide which building to level up. Now I already point two of the other important buildings, and I'm going to go a little more in deep with these buildings. First thing, over the Alliance Center, you're just going to, as I mentioned, this is help chance activities. So this is how much time the people in your alliance can actually help you. Now right now you're going to see from time to time there is going to be a pop-up here where I automatically help my people in the alliance. I think if I go over the help, you're going to see today I give 53. I'm going to just remove myself, but today I give 53 helps. So 53 people receive my help and I reduce their time. With this auto helping, it's just so much easy because you're not needing to actually wait somebody to click the help, asking the people in the chat, please click the help. I think actually it's coming from the bundles, to be fair. Yeah, this is advanced monthly pack, you have auto helping. But even if the people are not having auto helping, it's still going to be very nice to have this reduction in point of speed ups over your building. And speaking about the speed ups and building time, training time, researching time, we cannot go further without the College of Order. Here you're having very essential researches. The first one is architecture. You have architecture 1 and you have architecture 2. It's basically increasing the building speed with 25%, and this one is giving you 15%. So just by these two researches, you're reducing the building time with 50%, which is a wild number. So you're having this building speed, which from there you just need some resources and speed ups, but this is going to reduce the need of speed ups by a lot. And resources, you can have farms or whatever. We're going to speak also over the farms, but if you don't have speed ups, you cannot go further. So these two researches is just going to reduce the building speed ups by what? By 50%. It's a solid number. Absolutely the same with the scholarship. This is the researches, research speed 10, and finally here you have a research speed 15. So in total is going to be 25 research speed. The research speed is all the researches you're currently doing here. Everything you are doing right here is affected by the research speed. It can be, for example, supply chain 1, which is giving 10% gathering speed, or maybe leadership giving some HP, or peacekeeping damage. It didn't actually matter. These two is essential, these two researches. And the third one here, yeah, people may think I'm going to talk about the gathering speed. Yes, gathering speed is important, but I'm talking about the top researches that you have to know, and this is the stamina. Increase the combat points and increase the combat points recovery. Extremely important if you want to go outside and fight with different creatures. So this is yeah, for the economy tech. I think this is the main researches here. On point of military is actually opening the new tier troops. For example, you're going to start with tier 1, you need to make a research to open tier 2. From there, you need to make researches to open tier 3. Now I want to point out something, that flying buildings that you're going to have is going to come at late stage in the game for you, and is going to start directly from a tier 3. What I mean by that is we're having infantry, cavalry, marksmen, and vestals. We're not having any flying unit. The reason for this is the moment you're building, for example, Celestial Temple, you're going to start from a 3-star and progressing to tier 3, and progressing to tier 4 and tier 5. It's very important that you're not going to face this thing in the researches. So from here, by having research speed, you're going to open faster your tiers, troop tier. Also tier 4, and finally is tier 5. And tier 5 is one of the biggest milestones in Call of Dragons. If you have any questions over the researches, because in my personal opinion this is one of the most complicated places, just let me know in the comments below. Also hit one like on the video if you're enjoying Call of Dragons content, and subscribe if you want to get daily Call of Dragons content. I'm making daily Call of Dragons content, so let me know if there is something unclear in this whole game mechanic. Now from point of boost, what is the most important for the troops? Now every troop is different, but one of the spells that you want to get is those 4 spells that are specifically for the different troops. This is for infantry, this is at level 1, this is infantry skill, it's basically giving some skill to your infantry. This one is for the cavalry, this one is for ballista skills, and this one is for the mages. Now you're going to see that there is like 2 spells opened, for example, for the mages. One is actually for Celestials and one is for the Vestals. Now those skills, you can clearly see them when you click over the troop and you click more, and this is the spell that you're going to unlock by getting this research. Very important. It's giving 20% HP for 15 seconds, and this is the second spell that you're going to unlock when you basically get this one research right there. So researches and the alliance centers are in the core of your castle when you're looking to build your castle. Now from there, let's jump over the next point that I already said it in the researches, and this is your combat points or your stamina. Now what you can actually get with these combat points, when you go outside your castle, this is the, let's say, stamina that you're going to use to fight with different troops. Now you can fight with the Darkling patrols outside. This is one of the creatures that can give you experience for your hero. Here, as you can see, hero gets this amount of experience. If you're in KVK, you're going to get prestige. It's going to give you 5.4k prestige. prestige is needed for the policy, the seasonal policy that you currently are doing, which is something like a extra boost for your account, but is limited to the end of the KVK. The moment the KVK ends, the policy is also going to disappear. So yeah, you're going to get prestige and you're going to get artifact materials. With these materials, you can level up your artifacts and go to higher version of your artifacts. This is the artifacts currently I'm having. So if I want to level up this one and I want to go further, I'm going to need this one, these materials. Now from the Darkling Patrus, as you can see, you can get the normal one, that's 100, but you can get also the other dusts, and this is what is needed so you can actually level up your artifact. On top of that, you're also going to get something that endgame players non-stop farm the Darkling Patrus, and this is only training speed-ups. At one point, you're going to finish all of your buildings, you're going to finish all of your researches, like in my case, and the only thing you can actually do is train more troops. So the Darkling Patrus is only going to give you a training speed-ups, extremely important. Now the other thing you can go for is actually Darkling Forts. In the Darkling Forts, you can even get some gold keys, not keys, gold key. You can get just a single key, or silver key and theatry. Also experience for the hero, some prestige, and it's basically the same, but here the speed ups you're receiving can be different from just training speed ups. You can get research speed ups or building speed ups, and if you already have everything maxed, you're not going to need that much these speed ups, but still. Now the difference between these two, let's say, creatures in Call of Dragons, the forts and the Darkling Patrus, is both of them are giving something extremely important for your progression. In case of Darkling Forts, they're going to give you the theatry. Theatry is needing to upgrade your rally beacon. This is one of the bottlenecks in Call of Dragons. And by going for the forts, you're going to get theatry, but you're not going to get arrows. What I mean by arrows, this is for example some fights that I did against Darkling Patrus, and here, as you can see, there is a sentinel arrows. These arrows is important when you're going to level up your watchtower, and rally beacon and watchtower is the two needed buildings to level up your College of Order, so you'll be able to finally open your tier 5, because College of Order level 25 is a bottleneck and you're going to need these two buildings right there. Now right now you can also get some rally and theatry just by going in the VIP shop, and you can basically buy them from here. As you can see, I think you can buy like 50 sentinel arrows and 50 theatry. I don't remember because it's already sold out, but this is also another place where you can get some arrows and theatry. But this is the main difference, and you need these combat points or CP points so you can go and farm these creatures. So all these researches that was related to CP points is extremely important, especially the CP recovery speed. I think is important. You're also going to have them here, increasing the CP capacity and CP recovery speed. CP points is just one of the core mechanics in Call of Dragons that again is going to provide you with speed ups and many resources, because also the resources are not low. You can get decent amount of resources. Now jumping over the next very important mechanic in Call of Dragons, and this is the Dragon Trowel. This is something like a piggy bank. Now let's jump over the Dragon Trowel. When you click here, it's actually not here, sorry about that. It's in the companion, you're going to have the Behemoth Trowel. Now for the people who don't see it, I'm going to remove myself. So this is the Behemoth Trowel. Now you're going inside and you're going to have different stages that you have to pass, and with the stages you're going to get, by the way, very nice rewards. What I mean by that is, okay, I'm not going to go from the beginning, or maybe I should go, maybe just to show you the impact that you're going to receive. So you're going to start from this one, This is level 1, and it's going to, the moment you finish this campaigning or this dragon trial, it didn't actually matter, 1 star, 2 star or 3 star, you're going to start generating this hero experience and trial coins. Now trial coins later, even as an endgame player, you're going to need them so much, and I'm going to explain why. So hero experience, obviously the experience when a new hero coming out of Dragons, you're going to have the experience ready so you can level up this hero way more faster. And at the beginning you're going to need experience for your heroes, also trial coins. Going further, at one point you're going to have something like this, where you can get basically Kewa. This is a hero that is something in extra. Now Kewa is a gathering hero, which is going to help you gather more faster the resources like gold, ore, wood, and mana. Going further, you're going to find the first behemoth. Now here is the thing about the behemoth. The behemoth is again giving hero experience and trial coins. Everything here is giving hero experience and trial coins, but there is some extra boost like Behemoth Blessing, Legion attack 1%. Believe it or not, when you're hitting endgame play, and even at the beginning, especially maybe at the beginning, because right now we're having so much buffs over the troops, but at the beginning you're not having that much buffs. So every small thing you get as a buff for your Legion is going to be extremely valuable for you. And here you can get 1% blessing. If I go further, some of the buildings is giving something like extra rewards like universal artifact key. And again, the next behemoth is going to give you defense by 1% till you actually hit the next behemoth Legion capacity 5%. So everything here is extremely important. Legion HP 1%. I don't remember how much the dragon was actually giving. This is the final form of the trial, and the dragon is going to give Legion attack extra 2%. It may not looking crazy at the beginning for you, but at the end of the day, especially for the beginners, you're going to see that the buffs, for example, for swordsman, for me, who I'm endgame player, I have we're going to go over other places that is going to give you some extra buffs, but 126% I get as a buffs for my infantry. My ballista again 126 and Vestal attack 126. So from the dragon trial you can non-stop there go and farm, and at one point you're going to click and you're going to get your experience as a book that you can store, and this is the trial coins. Now I promised to tell you guys where this trial coins is important for the end games and beginners. I'm going to start first with the beginners, is to open the indies. Just open the indies, that's all. Use her as a gathering hero with the gathering tree. I strongly suggest don't invest more in this hero because the value of indies on the battlefield is not that big, and at the same time one shard or one hero token is costing like 20k, so it's a lot. Only 3, very slow to awake this hero, and on top of that you're going to just use him for gathering later, and it's not giving even big value at the beginning for the beginners. So yeah, going for indies, get the indies and start leveling up indies. Get the gathering down tree and start gathering with her. Here, this is the most important thing, the rest of your coins have to go. You're going to be able to go for legendary medals, that is going to cost I think 25k. There is the next level legendary levels, that is going to be 50k of these trial coins, and the Titan legendary medals is going to be 100k. Save, I always keep 100k saved here, so the moment this Titan legendary medal appear, I'm be able to actually buy it, because you're not getting some crazy amount of coins every day, so you have to be clever where you spend them. So yeah, this is for end games game player to get the medals, and for the beginners get the indies there, and from there you can just get the medals, because with these medals you can make your heroes, you can start up your heroes, and at one point each of these star is going to first of all unlock a spell, and finally just going to give you like 5% attack resistance and 5% defense penetration. And if you have like 2 heroes, because one legion is from 2 heroes, this is going to go to 10% attack resistance and 10% defense penetration, which, you know, is very helpful in the PvP in Call of Dragons. And the more early you're pushing in your Dragon Trial, the better you're going to be later and way ahead from the rest of the players. The next point in this beginner guide in Call of Dragons is the scouts. Extremely important also. Now, what the scouts can actually give you. Right now, you can go and, for example, this one is going to give you, this is challenges, let's say it like this, over this map. You go there, either you're going to have to fight or you directly just wood whatever is there. In this case, for the challenge level 11, I can go and fight with this creature and I'm going to be able to get 5 of these 5 shards of this epic hero. Muxiang is basically one of the best heroes in Call of Dragons, but this is the epic version. Muxiang is the only hero that can go from epic to legendary, but we're going to go in the heroes later in this video. So if I click go, you're going to see what I have to go and attack. Just going to send some cavalry in this direction because they're just more faster. We're going to go over the troops also, which troop what is giving. And yeah, I'm basically close to kill this creature, and you're going to see that I'm going to receive decent amount of rewards. This is the rewards, we get it, we go back in the castle, we click here and we loot our rewards. We're getting elite hero tokens, that majority of these elite heroes are actually gathering heroes. We get Muxiang, we get epic medals, and we get some experience. But that's not all over the scouting. Since I have everything already scouted out, most likely when you start playing Call of Dragons, everything is going to be in the mist. And keep your scouts non-stop, do some scoutings so you can open everything there and have all the map clear for you, like it's having for me. I mean, I can see that there is a, for example, behemoth here, or there is an enemy alliance or friendly alliance, whatever. You're going to have the vision over the map. Extremely important. In the process, you're going to also get some rewards with your scouts. So always keep them busy, like you're keeping your buildings producing busy. This is the most important 2 factors in Call of Dragons, so you can scale up your city hall, so become more and more powerful. Now the scouts can be used and for something different, and this is for checking out the enemies, what kind of, how many troops they're having, how many resources they're having. Basically all the information you can gather, you can do it by the scouts. Is same in the research, in the military, and this is intelligence. Although you're getting more intelligence by scouting, this is level 1, here you have level 2, and the more precise is the report from your scout over the enemy castle or the enemy bastion or the enemy gate. You're going to see what is there, what is the garrison, what type of heroes are in garrison, how many troops are in this garrison, what kind of artifacts are there, what kind of pets is there. Basically you're going to have all the information from scouting. So scout is not only just giving you one-time rewards when you're opening the mist, but in same time is also a military building that is going to provide you information for the enemy buildings. But not all, you can also scout enemy legions on the battlefield, see the heroes, see the pets, see the artifacts, every information you're needing to see how powerful is this legion. On top of that, with the scouts you can get this type of places, like for example this one on the map is absolutely the same, maybe this one, but here by finding these places, this is Dragon Maw. Here you are going to have some quests that by finishing this quest, first of all is going to give you some rewards, and after is going to give you one chest, which if I remember right, there was a tier 4 troops inside. And believe it or not, you're going to start with tier 1 military troops, and this quest is going to give you tier 4, which is very solid, very strong troops in Call of Dragons. The next point I want to point out is keep your troops working. Just don't waste time for your troops. As like a building, as like researches and training, you have to keep your troops busy. Right now, my troops are not busy. What they have to do is at least go and do some farmings. You can go and directly click over any of the nodes you're looking to farm, and as you can see in these nodes there is for example, this one is mana pool. It's going to give 420k mana. So when I send my legion and he go inside, you're going to see after how much time this mine is going to get finished. In my case it's 2 hours and 11 minutes, and this is the amount of gathering I'm doing per second. Everything basically you have to know for the gathering. So this is one of the ways to keep your troops busy. The other way is obviously the military activity. This Call of Dragons is a PvP game, it's a war game. So right now when there is no activity, your troops can go do some gathering. When there is activity, you can go and actually fight with the enemy like this, trying to win the season. Right now I'm in KvK. This is my alliance right here. We have the enemy alliance also here, or this is our alliance, because this is couple kingdoms against other couple kingdoms, and as you can see there is a different alliances on the map. Everybody are fighting for the biggest reward, that is catching the dragon. This is the new season content. By getting the dragon you're going to go get some damage do, but on top of that there is also rewards in the process, your personal rewards that you can achieve, the war bounds rewards, and finally is the realm rewards, where is for example sitting the flame dragon. And by getting it, you're going to get this Yadra Amber that can serve you very nice when you're trying to buy some pet skills. The next point I want to talk about is joining the Alliance. Now, the Alliance has many benefits. As I already spoke at the beginning of this video, is you're basically going to need the Alliance Center to get these free helps from your Alliance teammate. You're not going to receive any kind of help if you're not in the Alliance. On top of that, the Alliance is having Alliance technology that can serve you very nice. As you can see, fully loaded is going to increase your gathering speed. We're having Storm Guard that is going to give you Legion attack and Legion march speed. This is an ability that can be used and is going to be for the next, if I remember right, it's like 4 hours. I don't remember the timer, but this is also the buildings, building alliance buildings. You have Fog of War, you have Lair Teleport, but this is just a use abilities of your alliance. If we go further, okay, this is for the behemoths. Battle Tech, you're going to receive infantry attack 5%. So not only your researches is going to boost your infantry attack, but also your alliance is going to boost your, for example, infantry attack, but it's basically for all the troops. Here we're having infantry, cavalry, marksmen, and also magic attack. Going further is increased by 10%. So just by these two researches, you're going to get extra 15%. So sometimes, even if you see the two alliances are close to same power, if one of the alliances are having bigger alliance tech, they're just going to get bigger advantage on the battlefield. Also, by fighting under alliance territory, you're going to get 10% more defense and 10% more attack. So you have to benefit when there is a wartime. Try to fight under alliance territory if it's possible. If you're the people who is doing the offense, avoid fighting against people that are in the alliance territory. If you cannot avoid that, just fight there. But the alliance is giving pretty nice buffs. And also over the alliance territory, you're going to get march speed in the territory 20%. Very nice. Also the army groups. I'm not going to go that much in deep, but also you can actually get some gathering speed. When the alliance plays a pit, for example mana pit, you're going to get 10% alliance resource center gathering speed. But also you're getting the normal gathering speed boost, like wood gathering, increase wood gathering speed for alliance members by extra 25%. The same applying for the gold, for the ore, and for the mana. So being in the alliance is just way better for your account. This is in form of buffs. Now let's talk about the rest of the things. If there is suspenders in your alliance, you can basically get this rare chest where you don't know what is going to be inside. In my case, I'm getting some gems, I'm getting some arrows and gems again. But that's not the most important thing, because you can get some VIP points here, which I think is extremely valuable in Call of Dragons. Also some crazy speed ups. As you can see, 7 hours of building speed ups. Some, for example, silver keys. Against silver keys, 7 hours, 9 hours building speed up, some mana, extremely important, most rare resource that the majority of the people are needing against some building speed ups. I mean, training speed ups, more mana, gold keys. I mean, all these rewards that you're going to receive from the rare chest is there if you have some spenders. And this is the normal chest that you're going to receive by going and fighting with, for example, Darkling forts, or there is a Eliana event where your alliance again is making Corallian. Destroy Eliana, you're going to get more chests by going and open this type of chests. By the way, you're also going to receive in the alliance as an alliance chest. I mean, there is just so many benefits to be in the alliance. And the most important thing maybe for the alliance is actually the protection, because again, this is a war game, so if you're not having any kind of protection to protect you, well, things are messy. Things are not going to be in good direction. And if, for example, you get stuck at, what I mean by that is you have training your troops right now, like I do, there's like 3 hours before these troops finish. Also, you have the researches pop up, you have all the buildings started. From first look, there is just nothing else you can actually do. Now, the other thing that I suggest, you can go and do some main quests. I obviously finish off my main quest because I'm endgame player, but you can go and find interesting things to do in form of my main quests. Or doing your daily quests, which is going to give you some rewards at the end of the day. Or maybe try to do some weekly quests. Seasonal quests are more like, you know, for specific time. Like to finish this one, you need Forge of Light on the first place. Right now we're not having Forge of Light, so we cannot finish this one. You need Behemoth and etc. But this is one of the ways you can go and do something to still keep your growth increasing with every minute. Or you can just go in the Behemoth trial. I don't know if you guys are going to have the Tournament of Champion. This is also another place, but yeah, Tournament of Champion is like a couple fights per day, so I cannot point it as a something, but it's a something that you can spend some time and boost your growth. Now this is going to be the first part from the beginner guide that I'm currently making, just because there is just so much material inside, and I really don't want to make this video some bigger and boring. So this is your day one right here. This is what you have to think of. Not we're going to go in the next part of the beginner guide over the pets, heroes, artifacts, the rest of the game mechanics, but this is right here your beginner guide. This is just the beginner guide. And if you want to check out the meta heroes, or basically the best heroes you have to invest in Call of Dragons, or at least try to get, and it's worth your time, effort and resources, I'm going to put one video here. This is the best heroes after playing close to 3 years Call of Dragons. This is the best heroes. So the moment those heroes appear in the game, you're going to be prepared and you're going to know exactly which one is giving best value for your account. So go and check it out. This video, extremely valuable information there. So far, I wish you great day and see you in the next video.